Okay, so we thought we'd have a bit more of a serious chat now about change up with our tea. um, so basically, like, I think, children put change up things on change up throughout the week, throughout the term, and it kind of gets filled up. And then in the morning meetings, we read out those things, the possible things, and then the start of the change up. Anybody, so it's not compulsory for anyone to come to change up. And what we generally find is children who are really invested in those things that might be discussed come, and then, like you saw in the video, we decide which ones to pick to discuss. And sometimes we can only cover one because of the energy, and other times we've covered 3 or 4 before, I think. And like you can see from the example with the bunny game, it was literally like about a 45-minute discussion where they were really invested in each little rule, and it was amazing, the concentration and the level. And then there's other times when the investment in the thing is actually not that big, and either we kind of get to a place where it either comes very quickly, the proposal, or it kind of loses its energy, and we kind of say, should we discuss that next time? And then we put it back on the board, or we choose a different one. And sometimes we figure out that as we're discussing the challenge, it kind of becomes clear that actually there's a different challenge underneath it. So like kind of with the screens, what we realized that it wasn't actually about the screens, it was actually about freedom and about control, and it kind of we got that, which is really interesting. Kind of even had a space to discuss that, like how do we give freedom here, and what does that look like, at the same time of being aware of the impact of our freedom on each other. And sometimes we get stuck at the proposal stage. Like that's happened a few times where we've gone round, because we go round until the proposal that we come up with, that we're going to try out for 2 weeks, that proposal, the children really want everybody to be in agreement about it. And it's not a voting thing, it's a consensus thing. And sometimes we've got to a place where one child is actually not that happy about it. At the same time, they're willing to give it a try for 2 weeks, and see how it pans out. But other times it's been actually very, very important to 1 or 2 children, and we haven't been able to find something. And in those moments, what we've done is we've parked it, we've left it. And it's interesting because often then it kind of finds a natural resolution, like either in the play or it comes back to change up. And we grapple again, and then maybe there's a better flow.
I was just going to say, so change up meeting can happen in 2 ways. So the first is every 2 weeks, as part of Set the Week, we'll put change up on the board for that week, and so that is for anyone to come with awarenesses of something that's working, something that's not working, something they want to shift, or something they want more of. And then we can also have change up meetings spontaneously. So say if a child comes in on Tuesday and like really wants to talk about something then and there, that is completely fine, and they've just got to let everyone know that they want to have a change up about it now, and so that it can happen in that way. And the reason why we've got those 2 is because we wanted there to be a place for change up about the decisions that we make that impact the children. So we thought if there's a regular one on the board, then there's just that kind of held space for them to come and share without having to initiate it themselves. But if it's something that they feel so passionately about that they can't wait for that change up, then there is also space for them to do that as well. I was just also going to say about the board, because I don't know if everyone's seen it. So we've got the Community Mastery Board, which is like a tool that's used in Agile Learning Centres. So on one side you've got awarenesses, and then you discuss the awarenesses and make proposals, and then they'll be on the trying column of the board. And so a proposal could be the new bunny game agreements, and so you try them, and then you revisit that at the next change up to see if it can be moved into practicing, or if something needs to be edited on that proposal, and then eventually it moves into mastery. So the example I gave in the video I made about tech was about no devices used in morning meeting, and that was one that really quickly went from trying to mastery really quickly, and then others will keep revisiting about digital tech. There's about how we use devices like that kind of will
Goes
dance
forward
between
and
trying
back,
and practicing back to an awareness. So it's not like everything
goes in linear. Yeah, and then after that, once it's mastering, it actually goes onto like our agreement board. So I think our no devices one now is on that written up.
So it's become part of our culture at the greenhouse.
Yeah, and the other thing is like the impact that the change up has had. It's been amazing because it's like the children have this trust that if something isn't working for them, they have a very clear space to talk about it and to bring it, and for it to be taken seriously and for their voices to be heard. And I think that's created a lot of trust and a lot of connection between in the group, as well as the sense of like when we as adults or facilitators have implemented new things, there's been less resistance because there's been a sense that like if it doesn't work for them, they have a space to say and for us to adjust that. So it's created a whole lot more flow for us. And also we've seen it ebb and flow as well. Like at the beginning there were quite a lot of children that came, and then there's been some meetings where there's been like 3 facilitators and 3 children, and other times when and even then it's been amazing, like you saw in that previous video, that they actually consider the children who aren't there, who may be invested in the agreement but haven't come. So there's a real sense of like community and considering the whole. I personally find that very beautiful to see.
And what you'll have with some of the children is they really want to come and share their idea for a proposal, but they're not actually that invested in sitting around and talking about it for too long. So they might stay for one round to discuss and then leave, and that's them giving permission for a decision to be made without them, but kind of knowing that they have had their input in their own way.
Yeah.
Which happens quite a lot. We kind of start off with a bigger group, and then depending how long it might get down to a smaller group of the ones who really want to kind of grapple with new proposals and ideas.
Yeah, and then they do often just like leave the meeting and go tell everybody because there's like a real ownership and investment in the process. I think that's all. Is there anything else?
No, I can't think of anything else.